Good morning, everybody. My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. What is up, game changers? Welcome to the end game. We are in this end game to change things. This is why it's called the end game. This is the Great Reset. And I want to talk about that a little bit today. Who I am an Ascension Master, Master Healer, and Divine Guide. I am the one who brought about the Ascension. There's no way around that. That's really who I am, and that is what I've done. I had a Kundalini awakening in 2019, and then I began doing things through healings that I'd never seen and done before. I was actually healing every ailment you can think of. I can see why things happen and then heal them. So that was mind-blowing in itself. And then I started doing things to the earth. I cleared Mount Shasta. And this was like all darkness, right? And then I repaired it back to Fiji, repaired the triangle with the eye back to Fiji, undid the false veil, undid all shadow concepts of the collective soul and the collective whole, and so many, many things. Cleared all pyramids, cleared the Nile, opened up all of the gates all the way to the 13th gate, not 12, and I entirely brought about the book of Revelations, basically. That's what I did, and it does play out on my channel. I do these things through me and to me, and they usually happen in workshops. The latest workshop I did, I tried to talk about on my live yesterday. So if you're not familiar with this channel, I encourage you to stick around, to subscribe, to watch the videos, because I've got all the keys to our passage through the ascension. Okay? It is not just given to everybody. You've got to know what to do. You've got to know what's going on. It is not as simple as raising your vibration, although that is a big component to it. And so welcome. That is who I am, and that is what I've done. The latest workshop that I did, as I had said, I had called everybody home, which is very important to understand what that means. What does being called home mean? Where does God reside? How do we find our way home? And it's all about home is where the heart is, okay? And that's what I wanted to talk about on my live yesterday. So I do hope people did watch that one to receive the message, because you know, you've got God here saying, hey, this is the ascension. This is what we brought about. This is what you've got to do. And if we're not choosing to listen to that, then that's not on me, right? That's on everybody else. So these are important times. That's the one thing I want to say. Now, today, Spirit wants me to do a little differently. They have a message they want to give. They want to give it through the cards. And some might go, oh, wait, she's preaching God in the Bible and then pulling cards? Yes. These are tools of creation. It's all in the heart of the beholder that uses them that matters, okay? So just because you have some people like Sadhguru, he is not of the full light, okay? Yet lots of people fall to his words, right? So there are lots of people out there who use tools, who use modalities, who use the word of God. This is what they have been doing this whole entire time, is using the word of God and against you. Okay, so we have to understand that we've been following a false god. We have been following a false god. We have committed to a false god, and many, many people have murdered for a false god. Okay, that's one thing I want to talk to you about too, is God does not ask for sacrifices. And throughout history, where there was a force of sacrifices of some form that goes against free will, that's not of God. Okay, so all the bloodshed, that's what they would have to do to keep Mount Shasta the way it was, because it was not of God. So those that did healings there, all these people did spiritual retreats, ayahuasca things there. First of all, if you're going to use things like psychedelics, use them once and don't use them again. Okay, use it to connect and open up the channel, and that's it. Okay, because you should be able to connect without the substances. In truth, using these modalities, being a channel requires you to be of a higher vibration. So substances actually block higher vibrational things, okay? So maybe somebody did healings at Mount Shasta. Maybe they could see certain things, but it doesn't mean they were seeing the right things. It doesn't mean they could see all things, okay? So you guys have to be very mindful of that, as there's an illusion. You have to be very mindful of what you're paying attention to within yourself and in your external environment. Okay? Super, super, super important. Because it is a fight for your soul. And this is the end. We are in the final wave. This is the karmic purge. Okay? And a lot of people are going to try to escape from their karma. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to own up to it. They would rather hide in a bunker and let everybody else die around them. But they're not going to have that option. Okay. And a lot of people talk about the ascension in such a way of let's grab our popcorn and let's watch these things happen. And personally, I have been chastised and murdered who I am. I brought about the ascension. I had to clear my lifetimes. And if you don't believe me, please watch my channel because I did the work. It was very painful for me to do it. It took everything I had. My whole world changed, and I was solely committed to this journey. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything other than this. How I survived was through the grace of God and my own strength, okay? My DM did not survive, okay? So it was a very painful journey. Is it an easy thing through the passage into the new earth? Not necessarily, okay? The only difficult parts is your battle with your own soul. Right? We all have to battle with our own soul. We all have to make it through those gates and choose love every time. Choose love. Choose love. Now, here's a question. When you guys are watching my videos, are you choosing love when you're doing that? Are you choosing love or are you choosing judgment? Be honest with yourself. Okay? Are you going in and are you judging me? Are you judging what I said? Are you judging the work that I did? Or are you at least having an open heart and open mind and going, I don't understand this. Maybe I can give it a second just to look into what she's saying before I form an opinion. Okay? That's a little closer to choosing love. Choosing love would be more like, hey, maybe this is right. Maybe she knows what she's talking about. Maybe I should give these an option. Maybe we've been seeing things false all along. Okay? So it starts there. It starts with day one. It starts with what you're doing in the moment, in the now. Are you choosing love or are you choosing judgment? Are you listening to me through a lens of love and acceptance or through a lens of judgment and fear? All right, number one. So on my path, like I've said, the gates are represented through how God was taken out of this earth. Okay, and that is the return of Christ, is we must return back into that light. We return by reversing what was done. All right. So home is where the heart is. You have to purify your heart. Everybody's being called home at this time. That was my final workshop, and we have to purify the heart. Okay, number one, choose love every which way you go. It starts with paying attention to what you're doing even now when you're listening to me. Are you judging? Are you in fear? Or are you taking the steps to do what you need to do? Because we do only have a certain amount of time left. You know, God's coming back and saying, you know what? Enough pain has been accomplished. Enough blood has been shed. Enough tears have been cried. It is the end of that. It is the end of suffrage. It is the end of separation. It is the end of falsehoods. I came back. I took all the power back, returned all of Christ's light, brought back all of the DNA activations of what you should be. And it's just time. It is time to let all that go. We don't need to watch the popcorn. We don't need to watch people destruct. Even if they hurt me, even if they hurt God, even if they hurt our loved ones, none of it is fun to me. Okay? And so when you hear people talk about get your popcorn, get ready to watch the demise, is it a nice thing? Yes. I'll be happy when all the darkness is gone personally. The only people who are afraid of that are the ones who don't want to heal it. Okay? If you're wanting to heal and you're wanting to rise to God, just do the work. I've got the path. I can show you exactly what you need to do. I do heart reviews. I'm the one who holds the keys. Okay? I've already walked a few people through the gates. I've got another one on her way. Like, this stuff is very real. Okay? So all you must do is let go of all of the lenses of falsehood. So I have an angel coming forward today, Archangel Michael. He did an invocation. I posted it on Facebook, but I'm going to do it live here with all of you guys at the end of this video. Not live, but if you want to receive what Archangel Michael is bringing forth, join me for that little part of it, okay, in the end, because I will just be doing an invocation for him to bring about what he wants to bring about in your energy today. All right, so every now and again, I will be bringing through an angel invocation. These are the angels actually stepping forward going, I have this to say. I have this I can do in the abilities. Let's allow people to tune in if they wish to tune into it, okay? So that's what I'm going to do with that. I'm also going to pull some cards because Spirit said they wanted me to. Now we're going to start right away with a challenge. I have a challenge card here. I like to pull my challenge cards. So through my twin flame journey when I was battling for my DM soul, I used specific decks for a reason. My Crow Tarot card deck I used a lot for myself. Okay, so again, it's not the tools that have darkness, it's the user. So if you're going to come here and go, she can't talk God, she can't be the one who brought it about, Jesus wouldn't use tarot cards. I do everything. Okay? Do I need the tarot cards? Not necessarily. I can get messages from Spirit all I want. But they're another avenue. It's another tool, okay, of being open and receiving further messages. So they can give us more detail than just channeling a message can. And not to mention they're fun as hell, right? Like, they're so much fun. But it depends on the reader. It depends on the person channeling the messages for whether they're pure or not, okay? That's what matters. They took all of God's tools and turned them dark, okay? Consider that as everything was created in God's light to begin with. And then the users took it and used it for different reasons. So anything that's sacrificing, anything that causes pain or fear, obviously that user is not of God. Voodoo is not of God, okay? Because they sacrifice. They do sacrifices of blood a lot. So you can kind of tell a difference, all right? So I just want to remove the stigma off of this stuff because there's nothing wrong with the tools. It's the user. And I teach this in all of my things too. You have to be pure of heart, especially in the new earth. If we don't do things in the way of God, you don't do things at all. If you are doing healings and you have not had all the upgrades, you're not doing healings at all, at least not in God's light. Okay? So you have to be very careful with that. Now, this tarot deck is one of my favorites. Again, I only use it usually for personal readings, but they want me to pull one today for a challenge, okay? So this week ahead's challenge, that's what they want me to show here. What is the challenge for this week ahead? I like this. All right. So for the challenge, okay, we have the Empress and then we have the Queen of Cups. Now, right away I was hearing like the feminine side. This week, the challenge is in balance within the feminine creation. Knowing how powerful you are, knowing how much of a creator you are. Every person has a feminine aspect and a masculine one, okay? And so the challenge this week is tapping into the feminine side to have control over your emotions, because I feel like that's going to be a challenge this week. There's going to be things that happen that we may need our emotions intact for. So don't let your emotions get the best of you. And it's also recognizing how you're in control, like you're a powerful creator. Allow the feminine side to rise, because in the feminine side, we create in love, through that lens of love, through the lens of recognition and power. Okay, but knowing that we hold the keys, if we can control our emotions this week, that is the challenge, okay? Is no matter what is presenting, making sure you have strength in your emotions and using them to carve your way through, okay? Through the energies of change. That is the challenge this week. Number 3, there's power here. There's master power here. Is like, call on the powerful creator that is you. Okay, the Empress. I feel like, it's knowing that there's a give and a take in this world, knowing that there's a challenge ahead, knowing that I'm going to have to take just as much as I give. I need to be in my strength. I need to be mastering my emotions this week, because that way the emotions don't get the best of me. Because let's just say something happens, right, that we're not expecting. It could be many, many things, good or bad. And it just sparks your emotions. Once that happens, we don't see clearly anymore. We tend to forget that we're a creator. We tend to forget these things because our emotions take over. And so you have all of these capabilities of creating things. Be mindful of what you're creating, because there's a price to pay. What that means is there's a give and a take. Okay? So we have to be giving just as much as we're asking for. If you are not giving just as much as you're asking for, then that is part of the challenge, is recognizing that there is always something to give. Okay? A lot of people like to take. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? Rather than, how can I be of service? Okay? So the challenge this week is being in your powerful self, but being of service. not just for yourself, but for others, and keeping your emotions in your powerful stance. So you cannot let creation come from emotions. You need to control those emotions, use them for healing and power, and then create from a stance of balanced, right? Like, am I taking too much? Am I giving just as much as I'm taking? Am I helping just as much as I'm asking for help? Those kinds of things. Okay, that's the challenge this week. And then that makes a lot of sense, all right? And then we need to surrender something this week. And then in the end, Archangel Michael would like to do an invocation with all of you if you would like it from him, if you would like to receive that from him for the week ahead. And so, again, consider what you're doing now. Are you watching my videos in judgment? Are you going into judgment? Are you going into excuses? Are you going into fear? Are you trying to convince yourself that what I say is not right? Or are you doing the research to figure it out? This is kind of like, are you in your own strength and power? Or are you letting your emotions get the best of you? Okay. Surrender to your soul's path. All right. This is what we have to surrender to. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. And this is like that karmic path, right? Karma is designed to help us grow and to help us learn to love. And if we didn't choose to learn it, we have to deal with it on the end days, right? And that's why they call it the karmic path. But there's also this big push to get you where you need to go, okay? And so if there's hesitation there, if you're not giving and taking, if you're just expecting, if you're in judgment, if you're allowing the emotions to get the best of you, you're not surrendering to your soul's path, okay? Surrender. There's a co-creation. Okay, Spirit, you're asking for me to do this, then please open up the way for me to do it. If you want me to do this, please give me the money to do it. If you want me to do that, then show me that's what I need. Something along those lines. Co-create. Okay? Ask for that guidance, but then take your power and do that guidance. That's a give and take. Okay? Do I keep asking the angels and creator to give me things? And then when God says, hey, I need you to do this, I'm like, nah, I'll do this later. That's not a give and take. So you have to consider my path. I gave and I gave and I gave before I got anything in return. I actually wasn't allowed to get a lot of money through my journey until I completed the entire path, which makes sense, okay? That's not like a punishment. That's not like anything like that. I feel like a lot of times we care so much about what am I getting out of these things, and that's kind of what I'm seeing, rather than what is my purpose to help God, right? How can I help? How do I give back? And as the being that I am, what I was doing, it wasn't about money. It wasn't about, ooh, cool, I get millions of followers now because I'm tuning in and I can get them these things and I can help them manifest. And it was a focus on this hurts, let's heal this, let's make our marks, and it doesn't matter who's judging me. I'm going to do what Spirit said, and I just kept working really hard to clear it all. And then I even remember one person saying, oh, it's always something else you have to do and always something else I have to do. And it's like, again, this give and take, right? What is my purpose here? My purpose was to change the world, not to become rich in doing it. So now that I've succeeded, now my purpose is to help people through. But you can't force, it's like I can lead people to water, but I can't make them drink it. And I will not manipulate for money. That's what a lot of people do. Okay? And so you have to consider the whole totality of everything. What is it that I want? Why do I want it? And what am I willing to give? Okay? Because what truly matters? We lost our way from love. There is this, we kind of lost our way from love, you know? We don't see clearly in it a lot anymore. We don't see through the lens of love. We see through the lens of judgment. We see through the lens of very little understanding of the world around us. We see through the lens of expectations and fear, but we have forgotten to see through the lens of love. And you can literally ask yourself right now, how am I judging her? That's a great way to see things. What is the lens I'm looking for? When I talk, what are your reactions? Okay. Ascension Path guidance coming up right now. This is from my deck. So our challenge is allowing the feminine side to rise, knowing the powerful creator, but creating within them, knowing it's a give and take. It's not just about take. And being able to control your emotions throughout the week, okay? On the feminine aspect, not on the masculine aspect. I don't need to bury them. I need to love them. I need to be able to feel them. I need to be able to express them in strength, but in my capability of doing so. So not in like this chaotic sort of way, not where the emotions are taking over me, but where I'm in control of my emotions. And I need to surrender to my soul's path, whether I like it or not. Co-creation, asking spirits for that guidance. And Archangel Michael, actually, I feel like his invocation is somewhat about getting on your soul's path. So this is very relevant. Okay, so this is exactly a really good card. This is the Ascension Path energies. And I felt this the other day from somebody too, is everything comes together in stages and steps. One must level and integrate to accept the next. You know, it's like, wait a minute, why can't I just be granted this ascension? Why can't they just read my heart and say, cool, I'm good to go? It's not about that. That would be judgment, and God doesn't judge. Regardless of who you are, you have to come out of things. That's when people can go, oh, we don't need to heal. I've already healed everything. You don't have any idea how many times I've heard that. I don't have an ego anymore. I healed it all. And then I'm going, you can't even see clearly. This is not true. Okay? You're knee deep in it, actually. What we don't realize is that we were all born into this muck. We've all been creating in this muck for quite some time. And a lot of people actually do have that karma to clear from that shadow. Okay? We can't just be given gifts in one sitting. It's even like in my academy, I teach that. It's like once you choose one challenge and you allow it to integrate and utilize it, then you must sit still and integrate and allow that to be until the next level comes. Okay, so everything comes in stages and in steps. We don't get everything all at once. Just like an awakening, learning who I was, it had to come in stages and steps, because let me tell you, if they tried to tell me who I was on day one, I would have said, I've lost my ever-loving mind. There would have been no way I would have accomplished my goals. Okay, we also have to consider free will within that. So can I heal everything in one day? No, you can't. That's why we have 2 years to do it all. Okay. Everything from enlightenment, it has to come in stages and steps, because our physical body cannot take on everything all at once. Our mental capacity doesn't even equate for where we're going. I couldn't just heal our bodies and activate everything in one step. It had to be done in processes. That's evolution. Okay. We are evolving, and I had to do it in steps. I had to start from detaching first from the matrix, detaching from the language, removing the darkness, then reintegrating Christ's light. Then you get to call your power back through each gate. Then you get the DNA activations and the upgrading, and then all of this like expansion. You see what I'm saying? And so it all has to happen in steps. Nobody, and I feel like entitlement is where that comes from. Well, why do I have to do the work? Everything is work, okay? Everything requires growth and steps, and healing also happens in steps. So the courses that I have, the healing workshops that I do, when I do them, they're designed to heal everything all at once, but even that is layered, okay? So I take you through deep, but if I truly pulled it all out of you in one sitting, we could lose our mind, okay? So everything has to come in stages and steps. That's what they mean by trust the process, trust the divine order, okay? So surrender to the now, surrendering into our path now, using the feminine aspect to master our emotions, which is allowing the love to still be present, allowing ourselves to still feel those emotions, and using them in a co-creative manner. Like, I am very powerful. I have all these options to make these spells and to do all these things. But if I am just taking and taking and taking and not giving, there's always a give and take in there, because that's the way energy works. Okay? Everything comes in steps and stages. Everything is given and taken. All right? We can give gratitude. We can give love. We can spread the word, shine our light, raise our vibration. Okay? So that's what's coming out here. These are very, very, very important this week. All right? Very important this week. I've got a couple cards decks here, and they're pointing to a couple different ones. So we're going to get the show on the road, and then I will do an angel invocation for you. For one of my courses, I channel the angels and what they want you to get to know them through, and then I started just having them come about. I called on one for an invocation for myself, and I'm like, why don't we just do this? Like every week I will be calling on an angel, and they will provide you with an invocation. You can use these invocations as well, okay? It's a way to call them into your energy and get the help that you might seek that they want to provide you with. Each angel does many different things. So the invocation is just usually very particular for what they want to help you with in this time frame. Does it limit them to only being able to do that? No. Okay. So then we have transformation and talent. Okay. So this is actually really cool. Transformation is like a death and rebirth. This is evolution at its finest. We are all evolving. Either you're evolving or you're becoming stagnant more and more. So either you're rising into the frequencies or you're being cut off. And I talk about that a lot, okay? Everything's changing. So you're reborn here on earth or you're reborn somewhere else. Okay, that's the ascension. That's the reset. It has to be. Everything is erased from your past to stay, or you have to go play that out somewhere else and God will not be there. Okay, so transforming, we're all transforming, but then we have talent. So this is also representative, like I talk about. If you're doing your healing modalities as you've been doing from 2 years ago, something's wrong. We should be transforming even in our talents. Okay, there's a huge energy of talent shift. You should be upgrading. You should be getting new ideas. You should be seeing things a different way, being able to give healings. If you're giving healings, they should be changing. They should not in no way, shape, or form remain in a third dimensional reality state. If yours is not changing within the talents that you represent, you are not evolving. You are not in the path of the light. You are not in the divine light flow. Period. Okay? These are our talents, our gifts, our abilities, our capabilities should be transforming. They should be up-leveling. We should be getting lots of DNA activations. We should be seeing that things are evolving and changing and that we can't do things the same way. We should be seeing that the earth has shifted because I removed the triangle with the eye over the illusion state. It has been returned to the portal of the gods. So those that are not attached to the God light will not see these things. They aren't evolving. They aren't changing. They're still trying to heal you the same ways that they were. Now, I also ascended the angels and all beings. I was trying to say that yesterday in my live, but the energy felt off. It just didn't feel comfortable for me. So I missed that part, and I kept thinking about it all night long. In my last workshop, I took us to Sequoia, and I don't just dump for people, I dumped for all beings. So all star beings, Pleiades, Ashtar, all the galactic council, all the angels, all the ancestors, everybody, dumped every timeline there. And so I'm telling you, even the angels are evolving. Even Pleiades star system is evolving because that's what I did. Okay? I took us so far, I took us further into 7D, and so all of these things are evolving. They have to evolve with us. Okay, so if you can't tell that the angels are changing, maybe you're just learning, or maybe you've been cut off from the light, right? These are really important. Even your talents should be evolving. We should be surrendering to that soul path of growth, realizing that everything comes together in stages and steps. I must start here to go here, to go here, to go here, to get here. I can't just be healed in one day. I can't just be activated in one day, and I do not get every DNA activation in one day. That would kill you. There's no way you possibly could. It took me almost 4 years to bring all of that stuff back and to remove all darkness from this planet. Now, granted, it took them lifetimes upon lifetimes to create that chaos within your system, to deactivate these chakra systems, to deactivate the DNA, to take us backwards in time. And I undid it all. So it's still happening rather quickly as long as you're on that soul's path. Okay, so it's important to surrender to your soul's path right now. It's super important. You should be upgrading and transitioning within the talents that you have. No healing should ever be the same. And this is how I teach. And it's hard in my academy because people do expect that, that structure. The only structure is in the baseline. The only structure is in the law of the land. The only structure is in how to be a clear channel. From there, we should be able to mold and change and be in the energies and create, because it's real, okay? And if you are not activating and leveling and getting these things, you are not healing in God's light, okay? And I've seen people do this. Well, I thought the way I was doing healings was just fine. You guys need to understand something. The ascension, the return of Christ changes everything. You either change with it or you won't stay. Okay, period. Now they want one more card, and then I will do the angel invocation. So this card, I usually use for my twin flame messages, but it's for everybody. It's Lover's Oracle. And so they just want a message in love, the aspect of love, the aspect of relationships, because everything is about love right now. We should be healing into unconditional love. We should be healing every bit of who we are so that we can match the purification of the one. The one's energy is all about unconditional love. Seeing everything, feeling everything through the lens of love and love only. Okay? So let's see what they wanted to say out of here. One more. There's 2 in here, they said. Oh, and 2 just flew out. So I got to peek them up. All right. Ooh. So this is interesting. We have my beloved. My beloved. Though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united. For love transcends space and time, nothing is missing. Okay? That's difficult at this time. Can we accept that nothing is missing even if we're not united? Forcing union creates shadows within the union. I have to say that. Forcing a union creates shadows within a union that you have to heal. Okay, so we are always united. It's always okay, no matter what. Sexual union, honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. And personally, I've detached from it because of my twin flame journey. So this truly speaks of self-love. Okay, you can't love somebody else until you are in love with yourself. This is not a narcissist thing. We are so distorted in what all that means. And this kind of came up too, I think, in my live yesterday. You guys, the things I say are so important. And so the fact that people aren't really listening to them and they're only paying attention to certain ones tells me they're in judgment. They're not in an open heart. They're not seeing clearly to what's happening at this time. And so I hope as people really need these messages, they will be able to access them because they are truly from the highest divine space. Okay. We have my beloved, which talks about separation. Then we have sexual union, which talks about being one and the same soul. Okay. So we really need to go into that place where we are one and love unconditionally, eternally. So now I will do the angel invocation. I do burp when I transition energies and release, so just be mindful of that. I call forward the creator of all that is and Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael wishes to come forward and bring the invocation. If you don't mind putting your feet on the floor and your palms facing up for receptive mode, he is going to help you ground. So he's coming in and he's using his sword immediately to cut off any energetic connections. So I invoke you, Archangel Michael, to be with us in the eternal soul, to surround us with your highest light possible and fill us with this divine pure love flow, highest light in and highest light out only. I invoke you to align us to our soul's path of the divine love light. Allow us to anchor into what is true for our knowing and for our understanding. We invoke you to use your sword to remove any darkness, any shadows, any components, any attachments that are not of our own or of our highest light. I allow you to anchor in and open up my energy to the highest divine component of my soul, to my highest timeline. Illuminate the path in front of me that is best for me and for others around me at this time. Give me the strength and the hope and the courage to step forth on the illuminated path and to know that you are guiding me divinely without expectations or judgment or reflection of anything but. I invoke you now, Archangel Michael, to open up the channel, to use your sword to cleanse and purify and anchor me into my ever-giving love path of the divine. I invoke you now to show me miracles on this day and to help guide me in every way, purifying, opening, and anchoring. So be it, and so it now is. Thank you. And I do see him doing things. So he's like dancing around. He's using his sword. It's beautiful. It's larger than life. And I always hear like a chink, and he's cutting off these connections. There was some connections to the heart space. There was actually lots of negative connections and pulls. And then he's lighting up the path in front of you to help you anchor in. The choice is always yours, though. He can light them up and show you and provide miracles and options. It's up to you to take them and to follow that guidance. So much love to all of you. I hope you have an amazing day ahead, amazing week ahead. Happy Labor Day if you celebrate that. I don't believe in the government holidays just because they slaughter, they brutalize, they lie. But take this time to love yourself. Replace whatever they're doing with love, nothing more and nothing less. So much to you all. I will see you later. Bye-bye.